Music producers, it's Curtis King and CurtisKingBeats.com asking the question today, are you afraid of the rappers that you're making beats for? Why? Let's talk about it. Music producers, on face value, when you watch this video, you see the title, you may be asking yourself, what do you mean am I afraid? I ain't afraid of nobody. Take your ego aside, and I want you to really examine this question that I'm asking you. This question is, are you afraid of the demographic? Are you afraid of the rappers that you are making beats for? Are you a producer from Idaho? Are you a producer from Montana, from Northern California that is making beats for the most dreaded out trap star, gold teeth, tattoos all over the neck and the face, rappers from Florida that you would never in your life come in contact with, or you would never voluntarily come in contact with? Are you afraid of the rappers that you're making beats for? Now, this question was posed within the mentorship that I do with Epic in the producer mentorship program, and a lot of producers took the question and they sat there and they thought about it and they said, there's quite possibly a possibility that I am afraid of the demographic that I am making beats for. There's a lot of nice guys out here that are making some really aggressive trap beats, and who you're attracting is not necessarily other guys that look like you or other guys that are of the same characteristics of you. Doesn't make them bad people, but it makes them folks that have another walk of life. That being said, can you imagine if you started a business that attracted customers, but you were afraid of the customers that actually came into the doors?
Here's Johnny!
How successful do you think that business would be? What kind of supplies, what kind of customer service would you offer if you were afraid of the demographic that you were attracting with the type of business that you are doing? Rewind it back to yourself as a music producer. How many of you out there are making beats that are attracting some of the most thuggish, ruggish, bone thuggish thugs in the world, and folks from the street culture that got you terrified? Now, see, me, myself, I am from Southern California. There is nothing that I have not seen in these streets, and there's nothing that I have not seen in this industry out here in Southern California that is going to shock me or surprise me. I've met just about every type of Crip rapper, blood rapper. I've met just about any kind of drug dealer rapper. I've met many different types of rappers, and at the end of the day, they all have a love of their own for the art. The reason why I'm able to jump into different sessions is because just as authentic as they are in their presentation and they're really about that life, I'm really about the life that I'm about as well. I'm a family man. I love making the music that I love. I love making music that is larger than life. It fits my personality. When I get in a studio with an artist, which is extremely rare, they know that when they get in there, I'm going to be full of the same energy that my music is full of. That's why when you guys are watching cook-up videos, I'm always bouncing around and moving. Why? Because I feel the music. Now, everybody feels the music in their own ways, right? You may just be a fan of a particular genre, and this is why you tap into it, but you may not necessarily be somebody that would be seen within the culture of that particular genre. Understood. However, 2 points need to be made. One, when you are a part of a culture, it is very important that you understand the history of that culture, that you understand what it is that you're getting into, the people that make up that culture, so that you come in there in a respectful way, and so that you are looked at as somebody that is a comrade in that culture. Second thing, you cannot be afraid of the very people that you are expecting to generate an income from. Now, I'm not telling you to be nice to people just because you want to make money from them. I'm telling you that if you don't understand what these artists are going through, if you don't understand how they conduct business, how will you ever conduct an ad that will attract them? And how will you ever conduct an ad that will give them the proper instructions of how to even purchase from you? You may have these beats that are going to bring out the most grimiest of the grimiest raps. Doesn't always necessarily going to be the most grimiest of people. It doesn't always necessarily mean it's going to be people like you. But it's important that you recognize and ask yourself this very question. Are you afraid of the very demographic that you are attracting? If you are afraid, take a breath. It's okay. But you have to understand that that exists, because that single point is the reason why you are not able to connect with an audience. Why are you not selling beats? Because you're making beats that don't even align with your characteristics. I know producers that make beats for the strip club, but have never set foot a day in their life in a strip club. It's almost impossible from your vantage point sitting in the studio to understand the subtle nuances and the certain BPMs and the certain vibes that are created by being in that atmosphere. How can you create something for somewhere you've never been? I'm not saying that if you're making trap beats, we all need to go to the South. Yes, I am saying that, but I'm not saying that in this particular example. I'm saying that you need to have an appreciation for the culture. An appreciation for the culture is an appreciation for the people, an understanding of the people. Instead of looking at people from just a face value, instead of looking at them and seeing tattoos on their arms, instead of seeing tattoos on their face and their neck, instead of being terrified of them, understand them. That is going to help you do better business. A lot of you are not selling beats, not because your beats suck, not because your marketing sucks, not because you don't know how to put up a Facebook ad, but simply because what's going through that music, what's funneling through that music is not attracting the people that you're comfortable doing business with. It's a smack in the face for a lot of people because you don't want to hear that. You want to feel like I'm a part of this culture and I love this culture. No, I'm not afraid of nobody. I'll do business with anybody online. That is the point. You'll do business with them online. How many times have you jumped on a phone with an artist from somewhere that you've never been, from a place maybe that you're terrified of? Go ahead, list it out. Indiana, Detroit, the boroughs of New York, Florida, gangsters part of Southern California. Are you in an area where you're not seeing that kind of action and you're making music that's kind of like almost a mimicry of it or an appreciation of it, but you've never spoke to anybody from that particular part of town? Can you see why some people would look at you as a quote unquote culture vulture? Now, I'm not saying that you are, and perhaps you're not, but I'm saying that in order for you to be successful at your business, it's time for a wake-up call. Are you afraid of the people that you're selling to? Ask yourself this question a few times. If you're not, start talking to these artists on a regular basis. Start talking to them and addressing them as the human beings that they are. Jump on these phone calls, have conversations with them. I need you to have, if you don't have nobody in your if you're making trap beats, I mean like 21 Savage type trap beats, and you don't have nobody within your contacts that has a face tat, who are you doing business for? Who are you trying to sell to? Don't be a faceless producer that hides behind a logo, that responds to emails quickly, that responds to DMs and Instagram, but will never jump on a phone call with these very artists that you are attracting and making beats for. They're good enough for you to accept their money, but they're not good enough for you to talk to? Something to examine. In this life, you will not be full of life until you decide to live life to its fullest. It's Curtis King, the leading voice of the online rapper and music producer community. Don't at me. Peace. Please subscribe to the channel below. Curtis King, CurtisKingBeats.com.